Today I'm going to be turning this dirty old whiskey barrel stave into this simple and elegant wall lamp. If you don't know what a barrel stave is, they're the wooden pieces that make up a whiskey barrel, which you can see me dismantling here. They char the inside of these barrels to allow the oak to release the flavours into the whiskey. As you can see, this doesn't give the nicest look to the inside of the staves, which is going to be the part that's on show on this lamp. The lamp will be mounted to the wall and curve out into the room with a pendant and a bulb hanging from it. I start off by cutting the ends of the stave to give a nice clean cut, and then I can start cleaning things up. I firstly cleaned up as much as I could with a wire brush. I could have sanded this, but I wanted to limit the dust that this would create. This particular barrel had stepped staves. I wanted the light to be a smooth finish, which meant not only did I need to sand the charred wood back to the bare wood, but also shape it to make it a continuous curve. Oak's a hard wood, so it took a lot of sanding using a belt sander with 40 grit belt on to aggressively shape the wood, which initially looked a real mess. But I knew it was a project that was going to look worse before it looked better. With things starting to take shape, I moved on to using a random orbital sander to refine the shape slightly before moving back to the belt sander with a 120 grit belt on. I mounted this to the workbench and brought the stave to the sander to try and get the curve nice and smooth. I sanded the outside of the stave, which is going to be pretty much completely hidden unless you press your face against the wall, so this only got a light sanding to clean it up. I then moved back to the inside and I moved up the grits to start smoothing the oak. You can see a couple of areas where the charring has gone deeper into the wood. Rather than sanding these out, I left these as a feature on the wood, as a little nod to its previous life as a whiskey barrel. I now had a nice finish to the oak, which I was happy with, so it was time to start turning this into a wall lamp. To conceal the cable, I'm going to router a channel in the back of the stave. This will allow the wood to be flush to the wall with the cable inset. Initially I tried using my trim router for this, but it didn't have the guts. So I got the larger plunge router out and it flew through it. I just freehanded this channel as it's not going to be seen, and I followed a rough guideline which will allow the channel to bypass the fittings that I'll be using to attach this to the wall. I sanded a groove in the top of the stave, which will let the cable sit in place. I just did this on the end of the belt sander. I could then add a coat of Danish oil to bring the colours and the grain of the oak out. I decided to mount the light using some flush mounts, which simply interlock into each other. So one's going to be mounted on the back of the light and one onto the wall in our living room. Then it simply sits into place on the flush mount. And with that, we're done. A fairly simple project that needs a lot of patient sanding, but I think the final result was worth it in the end. Thanks as always for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, check the channel out for lots more like it, and I'll see you in the next one.